So, hi guys, been like 3 weeks, and I think this is a pretty good, regular thing I've got going on. I wasn't even in the mood to, talk. Except, when I got home, I was like, yo, I need to make a video because I've been having some video ideas. And then I got into my room, and all of a sudden I don't want to do it, but I think I owe it to everybody. Most of all myself, even if this is totally random. It's nice to have an audio thing I can look back on. But I changed up my intro song because I don't know if it's the Minecraft music that I keep getting copyrighted for, or if it's that intro music, because I don't know, the artist or something of the original song wants their credit now. So I've been editing this on CapCut, and I just took one of the audios that they provided. But it's been a crazy ass year. It's almost over. A lot of things have been accelerating. It felt like a very long year, but literally last month, October, last month, and I don't know how December's gonna be because it's only the third day. But a lot has been happening the past 2 months, and I'm tired. I have a 17-week long semester, and we didn't get any breaks except for Veterans Day and Thanksgiving. And I don't know. You know what? I do have a right to complain. Because, first of all, I'm a student right now, so I'm still getting used to these crazy ass hours. Which the hours are not crazy, but I just feel like I haven't been able to give myself a break. And 17 weeks of pure school, which of course it'll be different once I start an actual job. I'm getting more comfortable with the idea of doing a 9 to 5 because at least I can do work and leave it at work and have the weekends free, because my weekends have, even if I don't study on the weekends, I'm stressing about studying, so I never get a break. But that's been heavy on my mind. And then also reappearances of people from 4 to 5 years ago. And I'm into the numerology and all that stuff, and the year of 2025 is supposed to be a year of endings. Because if you add all the digits in 2025, it adds up to 9, and that should be the end of the cycle. But I'm I didn't know my cycle of 4 or 5 years ago was the one that needed ended. I thought I had been through with that. Apparently not. Yeah, so lots of codependency and a weird relationship with masculinity, which I'm catching myself on. So funny. Is it funny? I don't know. Whatever. For Halloween, I did drag, basically. One as a 2014 hipster, which I'm so proud of it. And it's a little bit goofy that I have all the material for the outfit in my closet. I'm wow, I look like a proper hipster. And my stretched ears finished the outfit. And after that, I had also painted facial hair, and I was the "you was at the club" guy for literally 2 hours. And I've got a friend with homophobic parents, and I was going to her house, and I had to wipe my makeup off, so that was a bit of a grieving moment. And I noticed on my Instagram, I have so many the majority of my posts I look masculine, or at most non-binary, which I'm pretty binary when I identify myself. But when it gets to expressing myself, I tend to be masculine. And I just noticed on my page I've got like a lot of mustaches, and then recently, like literally last weekend, I went to a modern art museum, and I was just like making fun a little bit of like the city because I was in San Francisco. I'm like, there's probably just a bunch of like rainbow people and SF like playing with gender expression and stuff. So I did drag, but not in the way I usually do. I don't like, so if drag is an exaggeration of gender expression, I don't know if you can call it an exaggeration all the time, because there's like every day is drag. You're gonna be dressing up in the gender that you identify with most of the time. And even if I'm not intentionally putting on makeup to like draw on facial hair, I tend to walk masculine. I tend to deepen my voice when I'm around other men, as if I'm one of them. But I don't know, when I went to the museum, I put on a mustache to complete the outfit, and I also had eyeliner on. So of course, if I was a bigot, I'd just call me a freak show on the street. And it's weird that I felt uncomfortable out in public, because I noticed that I dress masculine for a sense of safety. And it's weird because like I'm a high achiever, and a lot of the classes I'm in, at least like a lot of the STEM classes I'm in, are just filled with a bunch of dudes. I've complained about it before, how bad the fucking smell is, because people don't know what hygiene is, and they don't know what deodorant is, because they've just like never worn it. Yet I'm surrounded by men, and even in like when I dabbled in trades, it's fun when I can like joke around with men as a lesbian, and like I'm not objectifying women, but like I can just like give them advice in their own heterosexual pursuits. I don't know, just like dressing up as a man, talking in a lower voice gives me the sense of safety that they're going to perceive me as competent. Because if I was a woman wearing pink and I just happened to be smart, I feel like that's drag in an opposite way. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it was weird. Like I have these pair of pajamas that I thrifted, and they're pink, like really bubblegum pink with like hearts, and I got it to like have a Valentine's Day fit, or just like, these are cute. I like pink, but it's like, it's weird to be seen in pink. I get icked out when people call me pretty, or pretty in pink, or that I'm looking feminine. And I think I've always like attributed it to being weak. And I'm like unconsciously sexist towards women, and also sexist towards men. Sexist in general. And I'm like really trying to catch myself, because hello, I'm a woman married to another woman, and I don't trust men at all. I think, yeah, this whole entire video is just gonna be on my weird relationship dynamic, my current relationship dynamic with men, masculinity, and femininity, and how there's a lack of femininity, or at least respect for my own femininity. And it's all because of patriarchy. But anyway, about me and my associations, my unconscious associations with pink being weak. I loved pink as a kid. Like, I was into the Disney princess stuff. Like, my favorite princess is Cinderella. I love her bangs, bro. And like, her story is so cute. And so she's always been my favorite princess. I had long hair. I wore a lot of pink. But when my father... we're going to get into the daddy issues. When my father left the home and there was like a gaping hole in like the masculinity of the household, that's where I picked up being a tomboy. Like, if any of you guys remember when like Justice was a thing, I think Claire's is now like holds Justice items or just has their like brand now. But Justice was basically this shop, clothing store, cute little item store for like girls. And whenever I'd go, because this was around like late elementary school, I'd tend to the purple and blue section of the tomboys. And I remember this shirt that I wore a ton that just had a soccer ball on it, and I never played sports, but still, like, tomboy, putting my hair up in the back, and not even in like feminine high ponytail way, just like getting it out of the way for convenience. And that was like basically the start of my tomboy masculine journey. And I had homosexual tendencies by like age 11, so started early. But like now I'm like reclaiming pink because it is a pretty color. Like I wrote a shit ton in my journal this last weekend because all of it just came up. But like, pink's an awesome color. It's like a really calming color. They use it for the loony bins. And I think I heard it somewhere that it's because like it's the color of when you're inside the womb and is most comfortable in your mother's womb. And like, it's not like I forget. I think when I'm operating in real life, like day to day, I just want to function. I just want to get through the day, try my best to get the best for myself. I disregard a lot of the intricacies of how I have to operate in this world. And whether that means I'm disrespecting women or giving into the fantasy that only men are competent and that I will only be taken serious if I dress like a man. There's also the other fantasy of like chivalry and how men should be protective. And that's where I get sexist, because a lot of the men in my life, I like talked about it in therapy, but I treat them 3 different ways. I either idolize them like they're Jesus Christ and they're this saint, which like I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and one dude that I watch a lot is this like Buddhist monk. So it's like, if men in real life and on the internet and in history can be this saintly figure, I can idolize men that way and be at a far enough distance where I'm like, oh, I'm not worthy of their presence, and they're an inspiration of this like really enlightened soul that I want to be, because they emanate such peace. And another way I treat men is as punching bags. Like, it's really not nice. I noticed it only after the fact, and when I feel bad of like literally almost like physically hitting men, because like, or just like punching them in the arm, because they should take it, they're a man. And like, it's not nice to treat humans like that, guys, because men are humans too. But yeah, I'm catching myself do that, or just like honestly critiquing their character. Like, I'll always, I guess, punch up if we're gonna talk about like hierarchies and where women and men are, like naturally. Like, punch up to make sure that they don't have so much power over me, because if I find a cool man, whether it's like my age or like an adult, I'm going to find some flaw and always remember that flaw. Like, even in my dad, like, as much of an inspiration he is, I will always, like, attack his character to just strip the power away from him, I guess. And it's a little bit embarrassing, but my first friend in high school was honestly my male English teacher, and we still keep in touch and talk about books and crap. But it's like, I still critique his role as a teacher, as a father, and as a husband to his own wife. And I'm just like, oh, he's not a good person on those aspects. Like, he's not a good man, but he's a cool person to talk to about a common interest. And so, like, I've just always been insulting them, or just, like, trying to convince myself that we're on an equal playing field, or at least I'm going to try to put them lower just so that they don't have any power over me. And then another way, like, the last way I treat men is as objects, like, not objects of, like, sexual desire the way they look at women, but honestly, like, objects of security and safety. And or at least for me, it's been validation. This is like, I've said this a lot in my journals and to my wife when trying to explain the situation, because she feels bad that compliments from men affect me way more than compliments from women do. But it's not a good thing. Like, the way I treat men as objects, as if they were vending machines of compliments, it's like I pay for those compliments by sacrificing my autonomy. Like, I act like I'm not a person, like, I act like I'm mindless, I act like I'm stupid and dumb, so that I can focus instead on, like, posing for attention, making sure my posture is right, making sure my hair is right, which is honestly, like, ridiculous and embarrassing. Or, like, I'm embarrassed that I do that because, like, I'm so masculine looking. Straight boys don't want a girl with a mustache or short hair. And, like, ironically, that's when it does me a disservice when I want the attention from men, but then also does me a service that, like, I know that if I have short hair on and if I have, like, baggy male jeans, and I'm walking in public, I won't be harassed. And that's honestly been a factor in, like, me choosing what to dress up as when going out in public. Like, as much as I do want to dress up in a dress, and I want to do makeup or show some skin, I just don't even feel safe enough to do that in fear of getting harassed. So the most functional thing to do is just wear a t-shirt and have my hair messy and short. But anyway, like, when I treat men as just a thing that can give me compliments, I only realize their humanity when they want to get romantically involved with me, which has not been often, but I feel like often enough where it's changed my life and how I view it. Cause it's a very inappropriate situation, but someone, like, way older having a crush on me and wanting to pursue a relationship after I had been getting so many compliments and just honestly this validation that, wow, I am a cool person, I'm a smart person, I'm a sweet person to them, and I make them feel seen. But, like, once it gets romantic, I have nothing to give you, because I don't want to admit that you have feelings, or that you have feelings for me, and that I have to accommodate that. Because I've never, in my 19 years of life, had a close male best friend. A close guy best friend. Like, if I'm friends with a dude, or if I'm, like, very close acquaintances to a dude, which I could only count like one in my life right now, or maybe two, they're like gay or just like some type of queer. And I think it's because with women and like my female friendships, I see them as humans that can be flawed and that I can acknowledge are growing. And it's weird, like I've had a bunch of obsessions with men, and the way I act is just like so I don't want to like say embarrassing anymore because it's like overdone. This is just like a self-judgment at this point, but like I don't like the way I act when I think like I'm obsessed with a man but not obsessed with the relationship. Like I can never imagine growing old with a man. And women have always been my friends, and I don't get obsessed, or I don't have like instant butterfly crushes on the street when I see women. Usually if I'm interested romantically, it's because we've been friends for a long time first. And I think that's just because I see women as humans, or at least I feel like safe enough to be vulnerable, and that I don't have to be conscious of the way I walk, because I'm not expecting anything from women except like actual companionship in life. And I really don't think it's fair of me to, it's not fair of anyone to expect this protection from men. And that's why I've always like thought it was so illogical of me to be obsessed when I've never ever gotten security from a man, and that me losing my autonomy is so terrifying, because when I lose my autonomy, I can't do anything for myself. I can't get that safety for myself. And it's just a very messy situation. And so that's what I'm working on, because like I want to give credit to fellow women. I forget to give credit to myself. And I wish I didn't feel like I had to be masculine to be perceived as competent. But I think it's just in my mind that that's how the world works, so that's what I have to deal with. But it's weird because I had a day where I like dressed up and I put makeup on like as if I was like Frankenfurter, and I felt dumber in class. That was like the weirdest sensation ever. But then when I dressed up for Halloween in like a hipster outfit and I had a mustache on, which like the thing about the hipster thing is like the whole performative male thing is trending right now, and I'm like, oh, there were performative males in 2014, so I'll just like dress up as that. But like just hipsters in general having their own edition of masculinity, which when I was like looking up hipster things, it's always like anyone without a beard is a woman, like bullcrap like that. And it's like when I had my fake mustache on and I was in class, I felt smarter for some reason. Like even the way my handwriting looked changed. I'm like, what is going on like this with this weird transformation? And my therapist postulated that me dressing up as a man like gives me the chance to actually be the model man that I always wanted, which was like chivalrous, which like I notice in myself, like I have high expectations of men. That's why I keep punching them, because I'm like, they should take it. You can't cry because you're supposed to be a man. And I think that's because like there was never any truly manly, protective, good men in my life. So I'm like, let me know when that exists. But anyway, I went on a tangent. My therapist was like, do you dress up as a man to be the idea of a man you've always wanted. And no, I haven't, because honestly, it's just for my own security. It's for my own safety that I dress like a man, so I can be taken serious. But honestly, guys, I'm a very, very sensitive person. As like logical as I want to dress up, I get so tired. Like, and I notice a lot that like when I start rotting on the internet and turning my brain off, because that's like the first time I ever get to turn my brain off, it's like I shame myself so much for it. I'm like, oh, you're out of control, you have no discipline, you're acting like I never say this to myself, but it's like as if I'm mad at myself for acting like what I think a woman is. Just like there, sitting pretty, not working hard, being useless. And I think I have my own like messed up perception on women too, because of my like both my parents failed me a little bit, and so that's something I need to work on. But it's like it's weird. I need to psych evaluate myself. I don't need to. As long as it's not hurting anyone, and I haven't like blatantly gone out in the wild and like disrespected a woman to her face. But if I am not even respecting myself in my own femininity, if I'm hiding it, and if I'm associating my intelligence and my competence and my success with the fact that I dressed up as a man to do it. Guys, this is so fucked up. Maybe this is like along the lines of like lesbian culture and like the toxic mask crap. Like that gets nasty as well. And it sucks cuz like I think about there's like a genuine harmony when you balance both masculine and feminine energies. And that's like the one thing I regret about being lesbian, that I can't I can't get my wife pregnant. Like, we want a family and shit, but we probably gotta like pay to make a lab baby and stuff. I mean, there's adoption and we're thinking about that. But I come from like a religious background, and I'm still very spiritual, and I think about, am I suffering because I'm gay? Like, or, oh my god, I'm reading the Da Vinci Code right now, and how Da Vinci was a homo, and he was part of the Priory of Sion, which is like, I forget what they're like protecting the Holy Grail or something. And the Holy Grail probably has like something to do with the divine feminine that's equal to the divine masculine. Because the Catholic Church, I was raised in the Catholic Church, just totally erased the existence of a divine feminine. Like, God had a wife, and they mention that nowhere, and to be a priest you have to be a man and all that stuff, or how women are the source of original sin. And that's always been fucked, like the villainization of femininity. I even thought about that, and I've like watched some video essays on how they did that to Regina George. I'm like, you just like made a villain out of the color pink, and it's horrible, because like Regina's so fab. Like, what the hell do you mean? Like, the movie is literally called Mean Girls. And I think even the relationship of women competing against other women for men is crazy. Like, I lost the best friendship because I was a girl competing another girl for some freaking anime nerd. Which, like, no disrespect to anime nerds, but I'm like, dude, all of this in 6th grade, all of the emotional turmoil and, like, lost friendships because she liked the same dude I did. I think that's horrible. And that's, like, a friendship I wish I still had, but then also in middle school she like cheated on her boyfriend. That's not cool either. I don't know. It's weird. Women against women is just like it's so weird. But is it what it is? It is what it is. It doesn't have to be like this, guys. I watched in one of my Instagram reel sprees. The reels I was pulling was honestly so like they were so good. They were so profound. And there was one I came across about like Native American traditions and their braids and how they're an homage to women being second to God because they have the power to give life, and how their braids with 3 strands braided together represent God, the body, and the spirit. And I just think about how the Christians came in and just fucking like eradicated them. And like these traditions of respecting nature, like we literally called nature Mother Nature, and she's being disrespected so bad right now. Like that, it's just crazy. And we think of like all the wars right now are happening because men are in power. Isn't that crazy? And I even think about like the male loneliness epidemic, and like I don't care much for it. I worry about my like little brother. Like of course I care for it, but like honestly I feel helpless in it, because the only reason why men are so lonely is because they've been taught to hate women. So like if they see a woman do good, they're just going to fucking comment weird shit about you might as well be a man if you're like riding a bike as a woman. Or I don't know, just like it just gets weird. And like of course it's sad because they follow these guys on podcasts who tell them you have to be a quality man, or what is it called? Is it high figure man? I don't even know. It's like it's so irrelevant that I can't even remember it. And like a lot of this brainwashing, or buy my course to be a cool man that's gonna get these bitches. And like recently I cannot call my wife a bitch. If she called me a bitch, I'll like literally cry. I won't cry, but I'm like, hey, don't call me that, doesn't mean. Because it's like female dogs where they're the ones dehumanizing us. Oh my god, even on the news about like calling women host bodies. Someone pointed out the irony that you want to humanize a fetus in utero that doesn't have the ability to speak or think yet, and you dehumanize a woman by calling her a host body. Yeah, crazy world. It's nothing new. We've had feminism for a long time. I even had I had a red pill phase in 2020 before it got to like male centered. And so I just don't call myself red pill anymore. But I used to be like a hater of feminism too, and it's because I saw feminism as, oh, women just want a hierarchy over men, or at least like modern feminism, like you're everybody's a misandrist, and I feel like I act like a misandrist even though like I fucking do drag as a man. But it's like I'm so like on one side I'm so sick of men, but on the other it's like I feel safest if I just like blend in. But I don't like this system either. Like I miss getting pretty, because I feel like most beauty is in femininity. And even if like I look at a man's figure and can call it beautiful, usually it's like, yeah, you got muscles and you're hairless and you're like glistening as much as a bodybuilder. And even then, I feel like beauty or aesthetics is associated with women. I don't know where I'm going with this, but this was like kind of like a commentary on how I live my life. I don't want to live it this way, because I do want to find that balance of being able to shamelessly express my femininity. And eventually we'll have world peace within the sexes. We'll have the right harmony of feminine energy and the assertiveness of a man not going to fucking war, like the extreme. As much as they want to call women emotional and don't trust them in government, like I don't think the other way has done it a great service either. But it's crazy, like literally the country, not even the country, oh my god, I'm so American, but like the world is basically 50-50 male and female, and yet an imbalance is rampant, and it's only led to destruction and our demise. But yeah, guys, we are not our bodies. This is just a vessel. We are genderless souls, and a lot of this is just conditioning, so you should probably think about that. Okay, bye.